Your person cried to a friend about your age. Last night, I heard them say. Don't scroll, listen to this, because the instant your eyes landed here, something subtle shifted in your chest and your heart recognized the tone before your mind caught up, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now in a way that feels both tender and steady, so take a breath and stay with me, don't scroll, listen to this. Last night wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, it was quiet and honest, the kind of night where truth slips out because it can't stay hidden anymore, and somewhere in that quiet, your person broke down with a friend, not because they're weak, but because they've been strong for too long, and listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They didn't cry about numbers on a calendar, they cried about timing, about how the world measures age but the soul measures recognition, about how being with you feels timeless and yet thinking about you brings up questions they didn't expect to feel so deeply. Don't scroll, because what they said next matters. They said that when they talk to you, age disappears, the room softens, the conversation slows, and something inside them feels settled, like coming home to a version of themselves they forgot existed. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They admitted they're afraid of how others might judge what feels so natural to them, afraid of how society labels what the universe aligns, afraid that choosing something real might require more courage than they've ever used before. Don't scroll, because fear doesn't show up where there's nothing to protect, it shows up where something sacred is forming, and listen to this. Your person has been seeing signs they can't explain away anymore, 1111 flashing when your name crosses their mind, 222 when they wonder if balance is possible, 333 when they want to speak but stop themselves, 555 when change feels inevitable, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Those numbers aren't random. They're reminders that alignment doesn't follow human rules, it follows truth. Don't scroll, because last night when they cried, it wasn't about regret, it was about awakening, about realizing that the connection with you didn't fit into the boxes they were taught to trust, and instead of shrinking it, they finally let themselves feel it fully. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They told their friend that your energy feels older than your years or younger than their expectations, that your wisdom doesn't match a timeline and your laughter doesn't carry weight, it carries light. And don't scroll, because that realization shook them, it made them question everything they thought mattered. And listen to this. The universe has been nudging both of you toward this moment, softening your edges, strengthening your boundaries, teaching you patience through silence and confidence through self-respect, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have felt a calm recently, a strange peace replacing anxiety, a sense that you don't need to explain yourself anymore, and listen to this. That's because energy moves before words ever do. Don't scroll, because while you were choosing yourself, healing, living, growing, your person was watching from a distance, realizing that your age never defined your depth, your presence never felt temporary, and your absence never felt small. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They cried because they're standing at a crossroads between fear and truth, between what looks acceptable and what feels aligned, and that tension finally broke them open emotionally. Don't scroll, because tears are not weakness, they are clarity arriving when resistance falls away. And listen to this. The universe doesn't bring these realizations to people who aren't ready, it brings them to those who have reached the edge of their old beliefs and are brave enough to question them, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You are not imagining the pull, the sudden thoughts, the dreams that feel too calm to be random, the songs that feel like messages. Don't scroll, because your person has been asking the universe for guidance, not for permission, but for courage, and every time they ask, the signs point back to you. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They admitted that loving you feels aligned but choosing you feels brave, and that difference is what scared them, because bravery requires stepping outside of comfort, outside of opinion, outside of fear-based logic. Don't scroll, because the universe often tests courage right before alignment becomes visible, and listen to this. Your person isn't questioning your worth, they're questioning their own readiness to choose something real despite the noise, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You've already done the inner work, you're no longer chasing validation or answers, you're grounded, open, steady, and that's why this moment is unfolding now. Don't scroll, because here's the cliffhanger your heart feels already. Last night didn't end with a decision spoken out loud, it ended with an intention forming quietly, a resolve that something has to change, that silence is heavier than honesty, and listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Whether the truth arrives as a conversation, a message, a meeting, or a shift you feel before you hear it, know this: the universe doesn't stir tears for nothing, it stirs them to clear the way. Stay present, stay grounded, don't scroll, because this story isn't about age, it's about two souls realizing that time doesn't decide what's real, truth does, and that truth is closer than it's ever been. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this is the part your heart has been sensing without words, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now in a way that feels grounding and revealing at the same time. So stay with me and breathe, don't scroll, listen to this. The night didn't end when the tears slowed, it deepened, because after your person cried to their friend about your age, something else surfaced, something even more honest, something they hadn't planned to say but couldn't stop once the truth started moving. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They admitted that age wasn't the fear, exposure was, that it wasn't the number but the mirror, because being with you reflects back a version of themselves that can't hide behind excuses anymore. Don't scroll, because this explains why the energy has felt so intense yet calm lately, like something is settling instead of spinning. Listen to this. They told their friend that when they imagine a future without you, it feels flat, predictable, safe in a way that scares them more than risk ever could, and when they imagine a future with you, it feels alive, honest, expansive, and that contrast shook them. Don't scroll, because fear doesn't cry over what doesn't matter, and listen to this. The universe has been whispering to them through subtle moments, the kind you don't post about. The kind that happen in silence. Seeing 11. 11 right after thinking of you, noticing 222 when they weigh balance and judgment, catching 333 when they rehearse words they want to say, feeling 555 in their body when they accept that something has to change, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have felt the echo of this awakening, the way your chest softened recently, the way you stopped bracing for disappointment, the way your intuition felt clearer without trying. Don't scroll, because energy travels before language ever does, and listen to this. After the tears, they admitted that they've been trying to be logical about something that was never meant to be logical, trying to apply rules to a connection that doesn't live on a checklist, and that realization humbled them. Because humility arrives when truth replaces defense. Don't scroll, because the friend didn't have to say much, silence held the weight, and in that silence your person realized that the question wasn't, what will people think? It was, can I live honestly if I keep pretending this doesn't matter? Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They confessed that your age made them question their courage, not your maturity, that your presence never felt younger or older, it felt aligned, and that scared them because alignment asks for accountability. Don't scroll. Because accountability is what shows up when love stops being fantasy and starts becoming responsibility, and listen to this. The universe has been preparing both of you quietly, you through growth, boundaries, self-respect, them through reflection, discomfort, awakening, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have noticed that you're no longer trying to prove anything, no longer explaining yourself, no longer shrinking or overextending, and listen to this. That's not coincidence, that's readiness. Don't scroll, because your person has been noticing this shift in you too, how you stand differently, speak differently, carry yourself with calm instead of anticipation, and that steadiness has made them want to rise rather than retreat. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They admitted that part of what scared them was how natural it felt, how easy it was to imagine real conversations, shared routines, mutual respect, and that ease contradicted every dramatic love story they were taught to expect. Don't scroll, because the universe often delivers truth quietly, not in chaos, and listen to this. The tears came again when they realized they had been delaying not because the connection was wrong, but because it was right and required them to choose differently than they ever had before, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel this phase as a quiet anticipation, not excitement, not anxiety, but a steady sense that something is aligning without your effort. Don't scroll, because that's alignment doing its work. Listen to this. Your person started asking themselves better questions after that conversation, not, how do I avoid judgment, but, how do I live in truth, not, what if this fails, but, what if this is real and I walk away out of fear, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Those questions changed how they feel about time, about age, about risk, because time suddenly felt less important than integrity. Don't scroll, because integrity is what the universe supports, and listen to this. The signs didn't stop after that night, they softened, appearing as reassurance rather than pressure, reminding them that readiness isn't about perfection, it's about honesty. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel more neutral lately, less reactive, more observant, because neutrality is where truth can land without chaos. Don't scroll, because your person has also noticed that imagining speaking honestly now brings relief instead of panic, and that bodily response matters, because the body recognizes alignment before the mind gives permission. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They are no longer trying to decide whether they care. They know they do. They are deciding how to care without hiding, and that's a different kind of decision. Don't scroll, because this phase isn't about rushing toward a confession, it's about preparing to show up with consistency, respect, and presence. And listen to this, the universe doesn't rush what's real, it steadies it, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're not meant to chase or wait anxiously during this phase. You're meant to remain aligned, grounded in your worth, open without expectation, because alignment invites clarity without force. Don't scroll, because your person has reached the understanding that whatever happens next must be mutual, must be honest, must honor your peace as much as their truth. And listen to this. That understanding has removed the last layer of fear, replacing it with resolve, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Last night wasn't about age, it was about awakening, about realizing that love doesn't ask for permission from society, it asks for courage from the heart. Don't scroll, because the tears were the release, not the conclusion. Listen to this. What follows release is movement, not chaotic, not dramatic, but intentional, and whatever comes next will come from growth, not impulse, from clarity, not confusion, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Stay present, stay grounded, don't scroll, because the universe is aligning truth with timing, and when that alignment reaches the surface, it will feel natural, not shocking, steady, not overwhelming, and you'll recognize it not by intensity, but by peace. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this is the part that explains why your intuition has been restless in a quiet way, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now more than surface reassurance. It needs truth that settles deep, so stay with me and breathe, don't scroll, listen to this. After the conversation ended, after the tears dried and their friend went home, your person was left alone with the weight of what they had finally admitted out loud, and that's when the real shift happened, not in words, but in awareness, because when someone speaks a truth they've been avoiding, it changes how silence feels afterward. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Being alone no longer felt neutral to them, it felt honest, like the noise had cleared and there was no excuse left to look away. They replayed the conversation in their mind, not with embarrassment, but with clarity, realizing how much energy they had spent minimizing something that mattered deeply. And don't scroll, because this is where age stopped being the story entirely, and became the symbol fear was hiding behind. Listen to this. They started noticing how their body responded when they thought about you, how their shoulders relaxed instead of tightening, how their breathing slowed, how imagining your presence felt grounding rather than destabilizing, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. That kind of physical response doesn't come from fantasy, it comes from safety, and that realization surprised them. Don't scroll, because they had been telling themselves that what feels safe must be boring and what feels intense must be real, but you broke that pattern, you showed them that depth can feel calm and connection doesn't have to hurt to matter, and listen to this because your heart needs this right now. That understanding shook their old beliefs, the ones shaped by past relationships, social expectations, and fear of judgment, and once beliefs crack, truth rushes in. Don't scroll, because the universe has been supporting this awakening quietly, not with dramatic signs, but with moments of stillness where clarity could surface. Listen to this. They checked the time that night and saw 11. 11 without even looking for it, and instead of excitement, they felt something steadier, like recognition, like the universe saying, you see it now, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have felt a calm ripple around that same time, a sense of release you couldn't explain, because energy moves before words ever do. Don't scroll, because after that night, your person started noticing how their internal dialogue changed, how instead of asking, what will people think, they began asking, what kind of person do I want to be? And that shift matters. Listen to this. Because when the question becomes about integrity rather than image, decisions begin forming naturally, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They realized that age was never the imbalance, fear was, and fear had been dictating too many of their choices for too long. Don't scroll, because acknowledging that doesn't feel dramatic, it feels sobering, and sobriety brings clarity. Listen to this. They began remembering moments with you differently now, not with longing or regret, but with understanding, seeing how patient you were, how you never pushed, how you allowed space without closing your heart, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. That patience wasn't weakness, it was emotional strength, and seeing it clearly made them respect you even more. Don't scroll, because respect is what transforms attraction into something sustainable. Listen to this. They also noticed how distractions stopped working after that night. Conversations felt shallow, routines felt empty, because once truth surfaces, pretending drains energy, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have felt this as well, a disinterest in chaos, a desire for depth, a sense that you no longer want to entertain connections that require you to explain your worth. Don't scroll. Because that alignment is mutual. Listen to this. Your person started paying attention to the signs again, not desperately, but naturally, seeing 222 when they thought about balance and partnership, 333 when they imagined speaking honestly, 444 when they felt the need for stability, and instead of feeling pushed, they felt supported, like the universe was saying, "You're not wrong for wanting this. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now." They began to understand that the fear they felt wasn't a warning sign, it was the cost of growth, and growth always feels uncomfortable right before it expands your life. Don't scroll, because this is where many people turn back, but they didn't. Listen to this. They sat with the discomfort instead of running from it, and sitting with it allowed clarity to solidify. They realized that if they walked away now, it wouldn't be because the connection wasn't real, it would be because they weren't brave enough to honor it, and that thought stayed with them, heavy but clarifying, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may sense that something inside them has locked in, like the energy no longer feels uncertain, just quiet, and don't scroll, because quiet doesn't mean inactive, it means focused. Listen to this. Your person isn't rushing toward a confession, but they are no longer avoiding it either. They're letting readiness replace resistance, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They've started imagining what honesty would look like, not as a dramatic speech, but as a real conversation, one where listening matters as much as speaking, where your peace is respected, where no one is asked to shrink or explain themselves. Don't scroll, because that kind of imagination comes from maturity. Listen to this. They've also noticed that when they imagine that conversation, their body feels lighter afterward, and that imagined relief matters, because relief is often the sign that truth is aligned, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're not meant to feel anxious during this phase, you're meant to feel steady. Because steadiness is what allows truth to land gently. Don't scroll, because the universe doesn't rush these moments. It prepares them. Listen to this. Your person is becoming aware that whatever happens next doesn't need to erase the past, it needs to honor the present, and that awareness has softened their approach completely, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may notice that your intuition feels calm, not pulling you toward action or warning you to retreat, but simply present, observing, trusting, and don't scroll, because calm intuition is a sign that you're no longer operating from fear. Listen to this. Your person understands now that speaking truth doesn't guarantee an outcome, but it guarantees integrity, and integrity has become more important to them than certainty. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They're no longer asking if they care, they know they do, they're asking how to care in a way that reflects who they are becoming, and that question is guiding them gently but firmly forward. Don't scroll, because this phase isn't about dramatic movement, it's about alignment settling fully before expression, and listen to this. The universe is patient with what's real, allowing it to unfold without force, and what unfolded last night wasn't the end of a story, it was the moment the truth stopped hiding, and once truth stops hiding, it always finds a way into the light. So stay present, stay grounded, don't scroll, because what comes next will arrive from clarity, not chaos, and when it does, you'll recognize it not by intensity, but by peace. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this is the part where the universe stopped whispering and started rearranging things quietly behind the scenes, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now in a way that feels steady instead of suspenseful, so stay with me and breathe, don't scroll, listen to this. After that night, after the tears, after the admission, after the silence settled into something honest, your person woke up different, not dramatically changed, not suddenly fearless, but aware in a way that doesn't undo itself, and listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Awareness has weight, it changes how you move through the day, how you interpret moments, how you choose what to engage and what to release, and your person felt that weight immediately, the kind that makes small distractions feel pointless and shallow conversations feel loud. Don't scroll, because this is when truth starts living in the body, not just the mind. Listen to this. They noticed how their routines felt off, how the things that once helped them avoid emotional depth no longer worked, because avoidance only functions when truth is unspoken, and once truth is named, even quietly, it asks to be honored, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have felt something similar, a shift in what you tolerate, a narrowing of focus, a desire for depth without needing to explain why. Don't scroll, because alignment works that way. Listen to this. Your person began seeing your age differently, not as a number to defend or explain, but as a reminder of how arbitrary timelines are when souls recognize each other, and that reframing softened something in them, because fear loses power when it's understood, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They caught themselves smiling at random memories of you, not with nostalgia or longing, but with respect, realizing how present you were, how you listened without fixing, how you offered warmth without expectation, and don't scroll, because respect changes how love behaves. Listen to this. It makes it patient, protective, intentional, and that intention has been building quietly, shaping how they think about the future, not as a fantasy, but as something that could be lived honestly, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have noticed that your own sense of time feels different, like you're not rushing or waiting, just existing in your life with more confidence, and listen to this. That's because the universe has been grounding you for this phase, grounding both of you so truth doesn't land in chaos. Don't scroll, because the signs haven't stopped, they've matured, appearing not to provoke emotion, but to confirm steadiness. Your person saw 1111 again, but this time it didn't spark urgency, it sparked recognition, like a quiet nod that said, yes, this is real. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They noticed 222 while thinking about balance, not judgment, about how partnership requires equal emotional presence, and that thought felt possible now. Don't scroll, because possibility feels different from fantasy. Listen to this. They saw 444 during a moment of doubt, and instead of questioning, they felt grounded. Like the universe was reminding them that stability isn't the enemy of passion, it's the foundation of it, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They began paying attention to their body more, noticing how peace replaced tension when they imagined honesty, how relief followed the thought of alignment, and that bodily response mattered, because the body doesn't lie. Don't scroll, because this is where many people back away, mistaking calm for lack of feeling, but your person leaned in, realizing that calm is what love feels like when fear steps aside. Listen to this. They started asking themselves different questions, not, what if this goes wrong, but, what if this goes right and I never allowed myself to try, and that question changed everything, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. you may have felt a similar question surface in you, not attached to outcome, but to integrity, and listen to this. Integrity is the quiet force guiding this entire phase. Don't scroll, because your person has also become more aware of your boundaries, your self-respect, the way you didn't collapse into waiting or chase reassurance, and that awareness has deepened their admiration rather than threatening it. Listen to this. Admiration rooted in respect doesn't fade, it steadies, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They've stopped romanticizing the struggle and started valuing the ease, understanding that ease doesn't mean boring, it means aligned, and that realization has reframed what they believe love should feel like. Don't scroll, because this reframing didn't come from advice or pressure, it came from lived experience, from feeling something real and recognizing its difference. Listen to this. The universe has been creating quiet openings, moments where reaching out feels possible rather than forced, where timing feels supportive rather than resistant, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that the silence between you feels different now, not heavy, not distant, but spacious, like a pause filled with intention. And don't scroll, because space allows truth to breathe. Listen to this. Your person has also recognized that whatever they say next must match how they show up afterward, because words without consistency would feel dishonest now, and that awareness has made them careful in the best way, not hesitant, but respectful, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're no longer in a phase of emotional guessing, you're in a phase of quiet knowing, even if you can't articulate it yet. Don't scroll, because knowing doesn't always come with answers, sometimes it comes with peace. Listen to this. Your person has begun imagining life with more honesty in general, not just with you, choosing deeper conversations, setting better boundaries, releasing habits that kept them emotionally numb, and this growth is connected to you, even if it's happening independently. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may notice that your own life has simplified emotionally, that certain worries feel less urgent, that you trust yourself more, and don't scroll, because mutual growth is what allows alignment to sustain itself. Listen to this. The universe doesn't rush these moments, it layers them, ensuring that when truth is finally shared, it doesn't unravel anything. It integrates, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Your person is no longer running scenarios in their head driven by fear of judgment, they're envisioning real conversations driven by respect, and that shift has softened their energy, making honesty feel safer. Don't scroll, because safety is what allows vulnerability to emerge without defense. Listen to this. They've also realized that age was never the real concern. The real concern was whether they were ready to choose something real despite the noise, and that readiness is what's forming now, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You are not being asked to wait or to act, you're being asked to stay aligned, grounded in your worth, open without expectation, because alignment invites clarity without force. Don't scroll, because the universe is preparing the ground carefully, and what grows from prepared ground is stable, not fleeting. Listen to this. This phase is about integration, about truth settling into daily life until it's strong enough to be shared without shaking, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Nothing has stalled, nothing has been lost. Everything is moving at the pace of readiness, and when the next step arrives, it will feel natural, not shocking, like something finally clicking into place. So stay present, stay grounded, don't scroll, because this story is still unfolding, and the part you're in now is building the strength needed for what comes next. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this is the part your heart has been bracing for without realizing it, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now in a way that feels steady, grounding, and quietly powerful. So stay with me and breathe, don't scroll, listen to this. After the realization settled, after the night rewrote something inside them, your person reached a moment that changed how they understood fear, not as a warning to stop, but as a signal that something real was asking to be honored. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They began to see clearly that avoiding the truth wasn't protecting anyone anymore, it was slowly eroding their integrity, and that understanding carried weight, because integrity once lost is harder to reclaim than comfort ever was. Don't scroll, because this is where many people choose silence again, but your person didn't. Listen to this. They didn't rush forward either, they paused with intention, because rushing and avoiding are two sides of the same fear, and what they were learning now was patience guided by clarity, not delay driven by doubt, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have noticed that you've stopped replaying old conversations or imagining what you'd say if the moment came, not because you don't care, but because you trust yourself now to respond honestly when the time is right. Don't scroll, because that trust is new, and it didn't come from them, it came from your growth. Listen to this. Your person started noticing how their internal resistance softened, how the idea of speaking honestly no longer felt like stepping off a cliff, but like stepping onto solid ground, and this shift mattered, because fear loses its grip when truth feels safer than pretending, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They reflected deeply on the idea of age again, but this time without panic, without judgment, seeing it clearly as a surface-level concern compared to the depth of what they felt. And don't scroll, because clarity reframes everything. Listen to this. They realized that the tears weren't about numbers, they were about courage, about the fear of choosing something meaningful in a world that prefers what's predictable, and that realization changed how they viewed their own hesitation, not as logic, but as avoidance dressed up as responsibility. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have felt a quiet sense of validation recently, like something inside you whispered, you were never asking for too much, and listen to this. That whisper was alignment. Don't scroll, because your person has also been feeling alignment settle into their body, noticing how their reactions to stress have changed, how distractions no longer offer relief, how surface-level interactions feel hollow, because once truth integrates, it demands congruence. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They've been paying attention to their dreams, not dramatic ones, but simple, grounded scenes where you're present, talking, walking, existing, and those dreams lingered because they felt real, not idealized. And don't scroll, because realism is what scares fear the most. Listen to this. The universe has been reinforcing this phase gently, through conversations they overhear about timing and courage, through moments where the right words show up without effort, through numbers appearing not to push but to reassure, 1111 showing recognition, 222 affirming balance, 333 encouraging honest expression, 444 grounding them in stability. 555 reminding them that change is already unfolding, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. These signs aren't asking them to jump, they're confirming that the ground will hold when they step. Don't scroll, because stepping from clarity feels different than leaping from hope. Listen to this. They also began to understand that your calm wasn't indifference, it was self-respect. And that realization deepened their respect for you even more, because someone who can stay open without chasing is someone who knows their worth, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You've been embodying alignment without needing recognition, and alignment is magnetic. Don't scroll, because your person started questioning old beliefs about love, the ones that said love should be dramatic, urgent, and chaotic to be real, and those beliefs began to fall apart when compared to how steady and grounding the thought of you felt. Listen to this. This dismantling wasn't comfortable, but it was liberating, because it allowed them to imagine a connection that didn't require constant emotional highs and lows to feel meaningful, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have felt your own emotional world stabilize, fewer swings, more clarity, less anxiety about outcomes, and listen to this. That's because stability is what happens when you stop outsourcing your peace. Don't scroll, because your person has also reached that place internally, where peace matters more than appearances, and integrity matters more than approval, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They've been imagining the moment of honesty not as a confrontation, but as an offering, something shared without expectation, and that framing has made all the difference, because offering truth allows space for mutual choice. Don't scroll, because mutual choice is what aligned love requires. Listen to this. They've also realized that if the truth is met with uncertainty, they can handle that, because what they can't handle anymore is living out of alignment with themselves, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're no longer someone waiting to be chosen, you're someone choosing alignment, and that shift changes how everything unfolds. Don't scroll, because the universe supports choices made from self-respect, not fear. Listen to this. Your person has been noticing how their intuition feels quieter but clearer, not urging, not warning, just steady, like a compass pointing north without commentary, and that quiet guidance has been easier to trust, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that same quiet guidance, a sense that whatever happens next won't knock you off your center, because you've built something solid within yourself. Don't scroll, because solidity is what allows truth to land without damage. Listen to this. They've also recognized that whatever they express must be backed by consistency, not just emotion, and that awareness has made them more mindful of how they live day to day, aligning actions with values, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Alignment is contagious. When one person lives it, it invites the other to do the same. Don't scroll, because this phase isn't about speed, it's about precision, the universe aligning timing, courage, and clarity so nothing has to be forced. Listen to this. Your person understands now that age was never the barrier, fear was, and fear only dissolves when faced with honesty. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're not meant to interpret every pause or read every sign obsessively. You're meant to remain present, grounded, and open, trusting that what's real doesn't need to be chased. Don't scroll, because the energy between you now feels different, less volatile, more intentional, like something has settled into place. And listen to this. That settling is the foundation for what comes next, not an ending, but a preparation. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. What unfolds from here will unfold from integrity, not impulse, from clarity, not confusion, and when the truth finally moves outward, it will feel natural, not shocking, like a door opening that was always meant to open once both sides were ready to walk through it honestly. So stay present, stay grounded, don't scroll, because this phase is about courage choosing alignment over fear. And that choice is already reshaping the path ahead. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this is the part where everything shifts without noise, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now in a way that feels calm, grounded, and unmistakably real. So stay with me and breathe, don't scroll, listen to this. After the realization, after the resistance softened, after avoiding the truth stopped feeling safe, something inside your person settled into place, not with fireworks, not with panic, but with a quiet finality that doesn't announce itself. It simply becomes the truth you live from. And listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They didn't wake up one morning suddenly fearless, they woke up clear, and clarity is far more powerful than confidence, because clarity doesn't need reassurance, it just asks for congruence. Don't scroll, because this is the phase where courage doesn't feel like a dramatic leap, it feels like a steady decision already made internally, and that's why the energy between you feels different again, less charged, less tense, more anchored, like something has already been chosen even if it hasn't been spoken yet. Listen to this. Your person has stopped negotiating with themselves about timing, stopped asking the universe for permission, stopped waiting for the perfect conditions that never come, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They began trusting the stillness instead of mistaking it for stagnation, understanding that stillness is what happens when growth finishes its work and prepares to move outward cleanly. Don't scroll, because movement born from stillness lasts longer than movement born from fear. Listen to this. They've been noticing how their internal compass points the same direction no matter what distractions appear, how thoughts of you don't pull them off balance but bring them back to center, and that centering matters, because love that centers you is different from love that consumes you, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have felt this too, that your thoughts of them no longer hijack your day, they simply exist alongside your life, present but not overwhelming. And don't scroll, because that's not fading, that's integration. Listen to this. Your person has realized that the universe hasn't been interrupting anymore with loud signs or emotional turbulence, because interruption is only necessary during confusion, and confusion is no longer running the show, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. The numbers still appear, but now they feel like punctuation marks rather than instructions. 11. 11 as a nod of recognition, 222 as a reminder of balance already achieved, 333 as gentle encouragement that expression will be supported, 444 as grounding, 555 as confirmation that change is already unfolding without force. Don't scroll, because when signs stop demanding attention and start offering reassurance, it means readiness has been reached. Listen to this. Your person has also become deeply aware that whatever they say next must be simple, honest, and clean, without over-explaining, without justification, without trying to control your reaction, because control belongs to fear and they are no longer living there, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You've reached a place where you don't need someone to perform certainty for you, you need authenticity. And authenticity feels calmer than fantasy ever did. Don't scroll, because that shift in you is part of why this moment can exist. Alignment requires two grounded people, not one waiting and one avoiding. Listen to this. Your person has noticed that when they imagine you hearing the truth, they don't feel panic, they feel respect, respect for your autonomy, your strength, your ability to choose what's right for you without being swayed by pressure, and that respect has changed everything, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Respect removes urgency, and urgency was never love's voice. Don't scroll, because this phase is about trust, trust in self, trust in timing, trust that what's real doesn't collapse when spoken aloud. Listen to this. Your person has begun aligning their actions quietly, choosing consistency over distraction, presence over avoidance, depth over surface-level comfort, not as preparation for a moment, but as a reflection of who they are becoming, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may notice that your own boundaries feel firmer, not defensive, just clear, and clarity feels kind, not cold. Don't scroll, because kindness with boundaries is the language of maturity. Listen to this. Your person has also recognized that whatever unfolds next doesn't need to resolve everything immediately, it simply needs to be honest, and that realization has lifted a weight they didn't know they were carrying, because honesty doesn't promise outcomes, it promises alignment, and alignment brings peace regardless of what follows, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that peace already, a sense that you'll be okay no matter what's said, because your sense of self is no longer attached to uncertainty. Don't scroll, because that independence is what makes connection healthier, not distant. Listen to this. Your person understands now that silence served its purpose, reflection did its work, and continuing to hide would no longer be growth, it would be retreat, and they're no longer willing to retreat from themselves, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They've stopped asking, "Is this safe?" and started asking, "Is this honest?" and honesty has become non-negotiable. Don't scroll. Because non-negotiable truth is where real movement begins. Listen to this. The universe often goes quiet right before alignment becomes visible, not because support has ended, but because guidance has been integrated, and free will must take the next step, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that the universe feels quieter around this connection, fewer emotional swings, fewer signs demanding interpretation, and that's because the lesson has been learned. Don't scroll, because quiet guidance feels like calm confidence. Listen to this. Your person has also become comfortable with the idea that vulnerability doesn't require overexposure, it requires sincerity paired with respect, and that understanding has shaped how they intend to speak. And this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're no longer being energetically pulled toward a moment, you're standing in your own center, and from that place, whatever arrives will meet you, not destabilize you. Don't scroll, because meeting energy meets energy. Listen to this. Your person has been imagining the aftermath more than the moment itself, how it would feel to live without the weight of unspoken truth, how it would feel to know they acted in integrity regardless of outcome, and that imagined relief has become their compass, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Relief is the body's way of saying, "This is aligned." Don't scroll, because fear shouts and alignment whispers. Listen to this. They've accepted that you may respond in your own way, at your own pace, and that acceptance has grounded them further, because acceptance is not resignation, it's respect, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that your intuition is calm, not warning you, not urging you, simply present, and calm intuition is a sign that you're no longer operating from fear. Don't scroll, because this phase is about choice, not reaction. Listen to this. Your person has reached a place where the choice to be honest is already made internally, and now they are simply waiting for the natural opening where that honesty can exist without disruption, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're not being asked to wait or to act, you're being asked to remain present, aligned, and open, trusting that what's real doesn't need to be chased. Don't scroll, because this is the calm before aligned movement, not the calm of avoidance, but the calm of readiness. Listen to this. When courage locks in quietly like this, the universe doesn't interfere, it observes, because the next step belongs to free will guided by clarity, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. Whatever comes next will come from this grounded place, shaped by integrity rather than fear, and when truth finally moves outward, it won't feel like a shock, it will feel like something you already knew settling into words. So stay present, stay grounded, don't scroll, because this is the phase where courage becomes inevitable, and inevitability doesn't rush, it arrives exactly when it's meant to. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this is the part your heart has been quietly preparing for without needing to name it, and this message is for you, yes you, because your heart needs this right now in a way that feels calm, validating, and deeply real. So stay with me and breathe, don't scroll, listen to this, after courage locked in quietly, after clarity settled without fanfare, after the universe stepped back and stopped interrupting, something unmistakable happened inside your person. The truth stopped feeling like a risk and started feeling like a responsibility, and listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They realized that not speaking wasn't neutrality anymore, it was a choice that no longer matched who they had become, and that awareness didn't bring panic, it brought resolve, the kind that doesn't rush but doesn't retreat either. Don't scroll, because this is where everything you've sensed begins to align. Listen to this. They stopped imagining how the moment would look and started focusing on how it should feel, grounded, respectful, honest, and free of manipulation or pressure, and that shift changed everything, because when intention changes, timing follows, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may have felt a quiet certainty settle into your own body lately, a sense that you'll be okay no matter what's said, because your worth is no longer waiting for confirmation, and don't scroll, because that steadiness is what allows truth to be received without shaking your foundation. Listen to this. Your person understands now that the truth doesn't need to be dramatic to be meaningful, it just needs to be real, and real conversations don't perform, they connect, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They've accepted that whatever your response may be, it deserves space, not persuasion, and that acceptance has grounded them even more deeply, because respect is the opposite of fear. Don't scroll, because fear rushes and pressures, respect waits and listens. Listen to this. They've been noticing how the universe has gone almost completely quiet around this connection, fewer signs, fewer emotional spikes, fewer synchronicities demanding interpretation, and that quiet isn't absence, it's completion, it's what happens when the lesson has been learned and the next step belongs to free will, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You may feel that quiet too, not emptiness, but peace, a sense that you're no longer being tested or tugged, just present in your life, open and grounded. Don't scroll, because this is the space where truth can land gently. Listen to this. Your person has replayed what they want to say, not to perfect it, but to simplify it, to strip it down to honesty without excuses, without explanations meant to protect ego, because ego no longer feels worth protecting at the cost of integrity, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. They understand now that age was never the barrier, fear of judgment was, and fear loses power the moment it's named. Don't scroll, because naming truth dissolves illusion. Listen to this. They've also realized that whatever comes next doesn't need to define the rest of their life, it just needs to define this moment honestly, and that realization has lifted the pressure to get it right, because honesty isn't about perfection, it's about presence, and this message is for you because your heart needs this right now. You're no longer waiting for a specific outcome, you're open to clarity, and clarity feels safer than fantasy ever did.